Welcome back to another explainer. Today we're exploring something that we interact with literally every single day, yet we rarely stop to actually appreciate it. We're looking at the delicate balance and honestly, the surprising fragility of water. It is the absolute essence of life. It shapes our land, supports our habitats, and flows through pretty much everything we do.
To start us off, I want you to picture a rainy afternoon. Imagine two friends, Afreen and Jody, standing by a window, totally mesmerized as they watch these tiny raindrops slide down the cool glass pane. And as they're watching, Afreen asks this really profound question. Where do you think all this water comes from and where does it go? It's the perfect hook for our journey today, really getting us to trace the path of something that's so common, yet so incredibly mysterious.
Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1, the essence of life, understanding Earth's water.
So, we often call Earth the blue planet, right? Because water covers most of its surface. But take a look at this. That massive, giant slice taking up almost the whole chart, that represents salt water. Now look for that teeny, tiny, almost invisible little sliver left over. That is all the fresh water on Earth. The stakes are incredibly high here because while we're completely surrounded by water, the actual fresh water we desperately need to survive is extremely scarce.
You can see workers here literally laboring to harvest salt from these vast, shallow water pans. It's a stark reminder that we, along with plants and animals, simply cannot survive on that salty majority. We can't drink it, and we definitely can't use it to grow our crops. And that makes that tiny fraction of fresh water absolutely vital for our daily activities and our very survival.
So, where does all this precious fresh water actually live? Well, it exists in natural marvels like Willar Lake in Jammu and Kashmir. Now, this isn't just a beautiful spot to look at, it's actually one of Asia's largest freshwater lakes, and it does some serious heavy lifting for the environment. Massive freshwater bodies like Willar Lake actively protect our surroundings by regulating river flow to help prevent devastating floods. It's a working, vital piece of our whole ecological puzzle.
Moving right along to Section 2, water's changing forms, the shape-shifting element. Now check this out. On one side, we have water in its solid state, ice cubes just chilling inside a steel glass. And on the other, water as a gas, steam pouring off a boiling pot on a stove. But look really closely at the outside of that cold steel glass. See those water droplets? Where do you think that liquid condensation comes from? I promise it's not leaking from the inside. It's actually moisture from the air itself condensing back into a liquid right before our eyes, all because of that cold surface.
And this brilliantly illustrates exactly how the massive global water cycle works just on a micro scale. If you try this, put a bit of colored water in a sealed transparent bag and place it in direct sunlight. You'll see the magic happen. As the water heats up, it turns into vapor and then forms these liquid droplets right on the inside of the bag. The sun is essentially the engine driving this entire process, heating the water and causing it to evaporate, which mimics exactly what happens over our oceans and rivers every single day.
Which brings us to Section 3, the river food chain, ecosystems and interconnections.
Just look at this incredibly lush riverbank. You've got an elephant splashing water over its back, a deer leaning down for a drink, and this totally diverse community of birds, fish, and turtles. To survive in these very specific freshwater habitats, these creatures have developed incredible, specialized features. Think about floating leaves for the water plants, fins that allow fish to navigate the currents, or long roots gripping the riverbed. Every single element has adapted to thrive on this one shared resource.
To really understand this biodiversity, consider the fishing cat. It's a highly specialized animal found in India's wetlands, and it relies entirely on these vibrant, healthy water ecosystems to hunt and survive. Without the specific conditions of those wetlands, this incredibly unique species simply wouldn't exist.
And this brings up an absolutely crucial concept. Who eats whom? It's like a giant puzzle. Imagine a food chain. Small fish, big fish, frogs, birds, crocodiles, otters, and us humans. Everyone is connected by this invisible string of dependency based on the water habitat. Now, I want you to critically imagine what happens to this entire chain if just one single animal disappears. Say all the small fish vanish because the water dries up. That string breaks, and the entire ecosystem just falls apart.
That leads us right into Section 4, saving our groundwater, human impact, and conservation. Think about the fate of a single raindrop. When it falls on an open forest floor or a green lawn, the unpaved ground acts like a giant natural sponge. It allows the water to seep deep underground to recharge our vital, hidden water tables.
But contrast that with our modern cemented cities. All those concrete roads and paved surfaces physically block the rainwater from soaking in. Urbanization literally stops natural groundwater recharge right in its tracks.
Fortunately, we aren't helpless here. We have highly actionable solutions to actively mimic nature. By building soak pits, digging ponds, creating human-made lakes, and honestly just planting more trees, we are creating pathways to help that rainwater safely return underground. We have to design our spaces to ensure our cities don't just bleed our water supplies dry.
Now, before we wrap up, consider this quick fun fact. The world's tallest statue is the Statue of Unity in India, standing an astounding 182 meters tall. It's a staggering reminder of the massive scale of human-made creations, and it really puts into perspective that if we can build things on such a grand scale, we surely have the capability to manage and protect our natural resources with just as much ambition, right?
Which leads us perfectly to our final provocative thought. What would actually happen if it just did not rain in your region for 2 whole years? I really want to leave you to deeply ponder your own local water security. Every single drop we've talked about today is a literal miracle of transformation and an irreplaceable lifeline. Understanding its journey? Well, that's the first step in protecting it. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and keep learning.